Breaking news: the 2025 NFL Draft is just days away, and the buzz around the Philadelphia Eagles is hotter than ever. But what if I told you the Eagles are already making bold moves that could reshape the roster in a major way before Commissioner Roger Goodell even hits the podium? That's right, the front office isn't sitting still, and the big headline here is a potential blockbuster trade involving none other than Dallas Goedert. Strap in, because the Eagles are going all in, and I've got the full scoop. The vibe is heating up behind the scenes at the NovaCare complex, and I've got some serious things to break down with you. We all know the Eagles have one goal in mind: returning to the Super Bowl. And to make that happen, Nick Sirianni and his staff are going to need a stacked, versatile, and healthy roster. I'm going to unpack everything I've learned about this explosive draft strategy. But before we dive deep, make sure you've smashed that like button, but only if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan. And if you've been bleeding green for over 20 years, I want to see your passion. Drop a comment that says, "Go Eagles." My heart bleeds green and white. Let's dive into what could be the most game-changing move of the offseason: trading Dallas Goedert. Reports are coming in strong that the Eagles are expected to trade the veteran tight end. And the buzz isn't just smoke, there's fire. The Eagles are trying to get value now or in the 2026 draft if 2025 compensation doesn't meet expectations. And the most talked about suitor? The Indianapolis Colts, thanks to their connection with Shane Steichen. The proposed trade? Dallas Goedert for pick 117. It's the kind of aggressive, calculated move that screams Howie Roseman. With that added draft capital, the Eagles executed a series of trades to reshape the board and put themselves in prime position to build both depth and high-end talent. They moved back from pick 32 to acquire selections 38, 77, and 106, plus additional picks later on. Smart drafting, creative maneuvering, and maximizing every selection. That's the Howie way. And it all starts with the selection of cornerback Trey Amos at pick 38. Amos, a top 30 visit, has blazing speed and incredible versatility, having run track and field in high school and transferred from Louisiana Lafayette to Alabama and then Mississippi. Standing at 6'1", 195 lbs, he's a pressman specialist with cover 3 and quarters scheme ability, perfect for Vic Fangio's system. He's a physical, agile corner who can immediately compete for reps and brings that Philly grit to the secondary. But it didn't stop there. At pick 64, the Eagles scooped up safety Kevin Winston Jr. from Penn State, a player many had pegged as a top 3 safety in the class before an ACL injury. At 6'2", 208 lbs, Winston is a versatile Swiss Army knife in the secondary, playing free safety, in the slot, and in the box. He's a tackling machine with elite instincts and a reputation as a ball hawk. What stands out the most? He's only missed 2 tackles out of 89 career attempts. That's elite. If he returns to form post-injury, this could be the steal of the draft. With the secondary locked down, Fangio's influence shows again at pick 77, where the Eagles grab edge rusher Olafi Oladejo from UCLA. A converted linebacker, Oladejo is still raw but brings explosive potential off the edge. At 6'3", 260 lbs, he fits the mold of a developmental project with a high ceiling, something Fangio can mold into a future starter. Now, with Dallas Goedert officially out the door, tight end becomes a must-address position. Enter Harold Fannin Jr., selected at pick 96. Fannin from Bowling Green is a pure receiving threat, having notched over 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns last season. With the best receiving grade among all tight ends in this draft class, 96.4, and connections to Eagles QB coach Scott Lealer, this is a strategic fit. While his blocking is a work in progress, his YC ability and size, 6'4", 230 lbs, make him an intriguing TE2 with room to grow. The Eagles didn't stop adding depth. Next up was defensive tackle Jamari Caldwell from Oregon at pick 106. A 6'2", 332 lb gap clogger, Caldwell adds much-needed interior depth with Milton Williams gone and Jordan Davis needing rotational help. He's not the flashiest athlete, but his film shows a player who wins with leverage and heart. Then comes a personal favorite pick, running back Jaden Blue at 117. Blue, out of Texas, has elite elusiveness and speed, clocking in the low 4.2s. As a change-of-pace option behind Saquon Barkley, He could be the X factor in the backfield. His ability to create mismatches in the passing game and break off big plays makes him an exciting addition. At 134, the Eagles take a flyer on one of the most athletic wide receivers in the draft, Isaac Tesla from Arkansas. Despite limited production, Tesla is a 6'4", 215 lb physical freak with a 44-yard dash, 40-inch vertical, and elite strength. He's projected as a slot weapon who could thrive in the right system. And with his athletic profile, he fits the mold of a Howie Roseman upside pick. To cap it off, at pick 140, the Eagles grab Seth McLaughlin, a center from Ohio State with a ton of SEC experience at Alabama. Winner of the Remington Award, McLaughlin is a technician with only 1 sack allowed over 1,800+ snaps. He adds valuable interior OL depth behind Cam Jurgens and could develop into a future starter if he recovers fully from an Achilles tear. Finally, with their last pick at 161, the Eagles take Kobe King, linebacker out of Penn State. A tackling machine with great instincts, King adds depth at middle linebacker and could be a core special teams contributor right away. Now, Eagles fans, I've laid out the entire blueprint. From trading Dallas Goedert to grabbing high upside talent and filling key roster holes with explosive athletes, this mock draft version 2.0 has a little bit of everything. But here's what I want to know from you. Do you think trading Dallas Goedert was the right move to set the Eagles up for long-term success? Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's pick it up right where we left off. Trading away Dallas Goedert was no small move, and for many fans, it's still tough to imagine the offense without him. He was a reliable target, a physical presence, and someone who brought a veteran calm to the tight end room. But here's the thing. Howie Roseman doesn't make moves without a plan. By moving on from Goedert now, they clear cap space, get younger at the position, and position themselves to build a sustainable future with dynamic weapons who fit the modern mold of what Nick Sirianni and new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore want to do. And speaking of new weapons, let's go back to that pick at 134. Isaac Tesla. While he's not a name many had on their radar, his potential upside is massive. He's built like a classic outside receiver but thrives in the slot, giving the Eagles a unique mismatch piece who can stretch the field vertically and physically dominate smaller corners. He's a bit raw and didn't put up eye-popping numbers at Arkansas, but remember he transitioned from Division II and still managed to earn rave reviews at the Senior Bowl. At this stage of the draft, those are the kinds of bets you take. High ceiling, elite traits, and a chance to hit big. Now let's not overlook the Seth McLaughlin pick at 140. This one could quietly be one of the most important picks in the class. Why? Because offensive line depth is never a luxury, it's a necessity. With Jason Kelce retiring and Cam Jurgens set to step into his role, the Eagles need contingency plans in place.